In this next construction video, we are moving from constructing things with segments and lines to constructing an angle bisector. Now, an angle bisector. Bisect means cut in half. So what we are going to do is we are going to cut angles in half. So although we are using angles this time, these constructions are very, very similar to the constructions that we were doing with the segments. So if we are constructing an angle bisector, or in other words, bisecting an angle, we are going to start with an angle. Okay? If we are starting with an angle, the only place that we can place the compass is on the vertex of the angle. We place our compass on the vertex of the angle, and from there, you have to intersect the angle. Just like we intersected our lines earlier, we are going to intersect the angle in two places. So we're going to intersect the angle in two places. Any angle construction is going to start like this. You're going to make yourself a reference arc. Okay? Since we made that blue arc, we have to use the blue arc. So the next thing that we do is we move our compass to one of the intersection points. We do this because our next goal is to cut the angle in half. So we are going to draw an arc inside the angle, and we have to make sure our compass goes over halfway to the other side. And this is because we want to cut our angle in half. So we're going to make that arc inside our angle. So this would be a sketch of it. If we do that to one of our intersection points, we have to do the same thing to the other intersection point. So we are going to lock our compass to make sure our other radius has the same length. We are going to move our compass to the other side, and we are going to draw the same exact arc. So we have the red arcs intersecting. The only place that we can then connect those red arcs to is back to the vertex. And when we do that, we will have an angle bisector. Now, the reason why this construction works and is related to the construction that we were doing earlier, if we take our original arc, okay, or we just connect where the arc intersects the angle, what we have here is a chord of a circle, but it also represents a segment. And if you look at that segment, basically, once you create that arc, you're just doing your perpendicular bisector of the segment that is there. You just don't actually see that segment. So this angle bisector construction is based on the perpendicular bisector construction. So everything is pretty much exactly the same. So for a real example, we are going to take our compass, put it on the only place we can put it, which is our vertex. We are going to draw an arc that intersects both sides of the angle, or both rays. We make the red arc, so next we have to use the red arc. We are going to move our compass to our first intersection point. Our goal is to cut the angle in half, so we have to make sure our compass is extended over halfway. Then we are going to draw an arc inside the angle. If we do it to one side, we have to make sure we do it on our other ray. So I'm going to pick up my compass, move it down to the other intersection point, and we are going to draw our arc inside the angle. From there, we just grab our line, and we are going to connect the intersection. We're going to connect our intersection to the vertex, and then we will have an angle that is bisected. So now this half of the angle is congruent to that half of the angle. And that is our bisector of an angle. And this angle is an acute angle. I will also show you how to do the bisector of an obtuse angle. This construction is not any different from the construction we just did. I'm just showing it to you because I've noticed that people tend to have a problem when they have to bisect obtuse angles, but it's still exactly the same. We start by placing our compass on the vertex. We draw an arc that intersects both sides of the angle. From there, we pick up our compass. We move it to one of our intersection points. We have to make sure our compass is extended beyond halfway to the other ray. You draw an arc inside the angle. From there, you are going to repeat on the other intersection point. You are going to draw your arc inside the angle. So now you have your two red arcs intersecting, and then from there, all you have to do is connect that intersection to the vertex, and then you also have another angle bisector. So this angle is now bisected. All right, and this angle bisector construction is exactly the same for the most part as your perpendicular bisector construction. The only difference is you are starting with an angle and you have an invisible segment.